Hey everybody, it's Carla with Karla's Clever Crafts again. Getting ready. We're going to make another Valentine's Day wreath today using this cute little truck sign with the gnomes, hugs and kisses. Before we get started, I also wanted to mention that earlier today I did this wreath that you see up behind my head here. It's a bumblebee gnome wreath with plush gnome dolls on it. So if you're interested in learning how to make that, you can go to my Facebook page at Karla's Clever Crafts, all spelled with a K, one word, and you can find the video on how to do that. If you would be interested in purchasing it, I do have one more available, and you can find that in my Etsy shop. The link for the to my Etsy shop should be on my page on this video. If it is not, I will link it down in the comments after I get done with the tutorial on how to make the Valentine's Day wreath. Also, I quickly wanted to preview a couple of designs, new designs I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be working on a couple St. Patrick's Day, and I have this nice wooden truck. Got this from Hobby Lobby. They probably should have them. I purchased mine last year, but they'll probably have them again this year. So I'm going to be doing a new design using this truck on a wreath. And then also I have plans to do a wreath using this St. Patrick's Day beer mug. Says ring the bell for a beer, and then it has a bell up here. We're going to be using this also to make a wreath. In the next probably 2 to 3 days, you can look for the videos on those two new designs that we're going to be doing. So far what I've done is designs that I had done previously, but these will actually be new creations that you can work with me and see the process of how I go through and decide to do the designs as I'm going through the process. Okay, so I've already started our base here to save us some time. Did want to mention real quick that it's very helpful to me if you can like, comment on the post, share the live video. I'm just getting started on Facebook, and all of that helps me get my business started and get additional followers and promote. So I really appreciate all of the help that you can give me in that regard. And then if you would go over to my Facebook business page at Karla's Clever Crafts, all spelled with a K, one word, and follow my page, that also would really help me. And then that would also keep you notified of when I do future videos. And you can also find my previous videos on there as well. Okay, if you stick with me until the end of this live video, I'm gonna have a reward there for anybody who watches. So just stick with me and watch me design this, and I'll announce the award at the end. Okay, so I start with a 14-inch wire wreath frame. I purchased these at the Dollar Tree. I wire them with the pipe cleaners myself, and I do 12 pipe cleaners on the outside 2 rings and 6 pipe cleaners on the inside 2 rings. And if you're interested in learning how to do this, I have covered that in a couple of my previous videos if you want to go back and check those. And then I'm also going to be doing a separate video in the near future on exactly how to wire your frame with the pipe cleaners. Okay, and then once we get the pipe cleaners on there, we're going to start adding our first layer of mesh. We're going to be using this pretty pink, light pink mesh again. And then we, after that, we'll go on to the ribbons. So let's go ahead and get started. We're doing the cruffle method with our mesh. In one of my upcoming St. Patrick's Day wreaths, I'm going to actually be covering a different method on ways to apply your mesh. We're going to do what's called a poof method. Okay, so to do the cruffle, we just fold it over, keeping your ends down, and then roll it 1, 2, 3. It's 4 if you count that initial fold over. Put a clip on it to hold your curl. Oh, it would help if I put this down so you can see. Put a clip on it to hold your curl, and then turn it around the opposite way. Get my comments loaded. and fold it over again. 1, 2, 3. Then we turn it over completely so that your curls are face down. Scrunch up the middle, small pieces at a time to create a ruffle effect. And you end up with what looks like a bow tie. So we're going to just place that here in our next tie. And we're only working on the outside twist ties right now. Not the inside, just the outside. The outside 12. Okay, and then you just keep going, doing your mesh around the base until you complete all 12. Okay, so fold it over. 1, 2, 3 more. Put your clip so that it holds your curl. Turn the clip away from you and do the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4. You end up with 2 curls on the end and a straight piece in the middle. Turn it over so the curls are face down. Scrunch up the middle, small pieces at a time. And pinch both sides together. When you are applying your mesh onto the wreath frame, for the bottom layer, you want to make sure that your finished edge is on to the inside of the wreath form and your other finished edge is to the outside of the wreath form. That's an important step to remember, and that applies to this bottom row of mesh. When we apply it that way, we get an end result of a 24-inch wide wreath overall, and then it'll be 5 to 6 inches deep. Nice and full, very showy wreath. Okay. 3. Turn it over. Scrunch up the middle. Pinch it together. And put it in our next pipe cleaner. Okay, now we're down to where we just have one more piece of mesh to add. So we need to make sure that we're pulling the pieces of mesh to the right up, and the ones to the left are going to be tucked underneath. Okay. First curl. Scrunch it up the middle. And add it into our last pipe cleaner on the first row. Pull it tightly and give it a good couple twists. We're going to pull up the mesh to the right and make sure that it lays over the mesh to the left. That way we have a uniform pattern all the way around our wreath base. Okay. And just so you know, if you're making this yourself, particularly if you're using a light colored or a thin mesh like this pink, you, after this step, are going to be able to see the wire frame underneath, but don't let that concern you, because when you add all of the layers, you will not be able to see that. You'll have full coverage and it'll be nice and bold. Okay, so next we need to add the ribbon tails around the base, which I have started the process here. Before we start to add them, I wanted to take a quick moment to go over the ones that we're using. Well, let's place some of my ribbons. Okay. We have this really cute gnome truck. It says Happy Valentine's Day. It's on a natural beige color background. has the little gnome driving the red truck with hearts on it. We're also going to be using this red and white glitter striped ribbon. And then we have this red, pink, and white heart ribbon that we're going to use. Each of these pieces of ribbon are cut to 12 inches in length. And then we have this solid pink. And then I'm going to show you, I always dovetail, that's what it's called when you put this little V in the end of all your ribbon tails. And I'm going to show you how we do that. Okay. Even though this is not a ribbon that we're using, I just brought this piece that I had in here for purposes of demonstrating. You just fold it in half, line up your wired edges on the side, give it like a little crease at the end, and then we're going to cut from the folded side diagonally up towards the wired side. So you just take your scissors on the folded side and cut up to the wired side, and that gives you that nice little V or dovetail. Okay, let's see what I did with my other ribbons. Yeah, this is on my top ribbons. Brian, do you see any ribbons laying in there? Oh wait, some of them are there. That is them. Thank you. Say hi. Say hi. Okay, so here's the ribbons I was missing. And let's see, we finished over here with a red and white striped 12-inch piece. And then we have, on the bottom layer, we're actually going to use, let's see, six 12-inch pieces of the red and white striped, 6 of the red, pink, and white heart, 6 of the solid pink, and then we also need 3 6-inch pieces of the red and white, and 3 6-inch pieces of the little gnome truck. Okay, so we did pink, red. Okay, so now we need a solid pink by itself. I'll go over the pattern with you too. That's kind of confusing and was even confusing to me for a second. This will be the only ribbon in here, so I am going to go ahead and snip off the pipe cleaner and tuck down the ends really good, giving it a nice squeeze to secure it. And then I can fluff up my ribbon tails, make them poof up and stand out and curl under a little bit. Okay, so the way the pattern that I'm doing on this one is 6-inch gnome truck ribbon with 12-inch pink ribbon. Then next is 6-inch red and white ribbon with red, pink, 12-inch red, white, and pink heart ribbon. Then solid pink 12-inch by itself, solid red or striped red and white 12-inch by itself, and then we start the pattern over. Pink 12-inch with 6-inch gnome truck, 12-inch heart pattern with 6-inch red and white, and then pink with the gnome truck, red and white striped, and then solid pink by itself. Okay, so we're going to now do, we need the 6-inch red and white, because we did the red and white We did the pink. We did 12-inch pieces by themselves, so now we're back to using the 6-inch piece. But because I want my gnome truck to be prominent, I'm going to put the red and white in first and the gnome truck on top. So we just crunch our ribbon down the middle, V it back towards ourselves so that it looks something like that. Place it in the pipe cleaner, give it a couple good twists, and then we're going to take our gnome, our 6-inch gnome ribbon, we're going to scrunch it on the straight edge, not the dovetail edge. We want this part to the outside of the wreath. So we're going to scrunch, 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 and then we just place this end in the pipe cleaner. It's important when you're using these 6-inch pieces to get them in there very tightly. And give it a couple good twists. And that is all we're going to add there. So we'll go ahead and clip that off. Press it down and squeeze it to secure it. And then we're going to fluff up our little gnome truck so that he is visible. Okay, now since we did that 6-inch piece, we're going to do the red and white 6-inch piece next. Same thing, scrunching it on the straight side, not the dovetail side. Place it into the pipe cleaner. Good twist. Make sure that it's secure. Fluff it up. And then we need to, I'm getting confused myself with my pattern. Yes, the heart goes over that. One good thing about if you're doing a pattern and you create it and you get confused, once you have it set, you can always go back and look like I just did to make sure you're following your same pattern. Clip it off, press it down. Okay. Now we have one more tie here left to put in. Of our 12 around the base, we have one left. And I'm gonna dovetail this, fold it over. I forgot that I had left a piece to do this on the video. The wired edge on this side, you're going to cut from the folded side at an angle up to the wired side. And then that gives a pretty dovetail. You can make those V's as deep or as shallow as you want, whatever your personal preference is. I usually just cut mine in at a triangle shape because, you know, like all 3 sides even of a triangle is what I cut off. Scrunch it down the middle, V it back towards me, place it in the last one. Hi honey, thanks for your assist. We'll fluff this out, and then we will cut this off. And then I just noticed that when I pre-did the first half of this to get it ready for the video, I did not cut off the ties. So I'm going to go around and do that real quick. Flip them off and press them down. Be careful when you're doing this part that you do not clip your mesh. If you clip your mesh, you're going to have more fraying than is necessary because the mesh does tend to fray and come apart. That's why we do the curled ends and curl it under before we place it in. That helps prevent fraying. is what we have so far with our first layer of mesh and our first row of ribbons. Okay, and now on this design, I am doing another row of mesh, the same color pink mesh, and then I have an extra step that we'll be doing on this one, and compared to what you may have seen on my prior videos. First, we need to take these 6 pipe cleaners that are on the inside and pull them to the outside so that we continue layering up our wreath. So you just reach between your mesh and pull them out. Pull all 6 so that when you start crumpling your mesh, you're ready to go, ready to just put them right in there. Okay, so now we're ready. We'll just do 6 more cruffles with the pink. If you are watching this on a replay, either on Facebook or YouTube, please indicate in the comments, just type replay to let me know that you have watched it. And then also, if you're on YouTube, if you could please subscribe to my channel. I'm brand new on there. If you could also hit the bell so that you'll get my notifications when I upload videos in the future, I would really appreciate that. Okay, so this time, since we're on our second row of mesh, we're going to put the finished edges to the right and left. So previously we put it in this way. We're going to turn that to do it this way. That gives us more coverage and hides that wire frame underneath. Okay, just squeeze it just a little bit because we don't want to lose all of our mesh down in the layers we've already put on there. Adjust it so it looks like a bow, and then you're ready for your next one. Same process. You're going to do that 6 times for all 6 ties. And I like to just arrange them so that the edges of one meets up with the edge of the other one on each side. I'm not sure if I was clear. If you're watching the replay on Facebook, also please comment replay so that I know who has watched it. And also feel free to, ask me any questions. I will always check back and answer those. Any suggestions or any advice that you have for me on how I could improve, or designs or things that you would like to see me do in the future. Those up. 3 more to go. almost done with the second layer of mesh. Forgot to mention this pink mesh is from bbcrafts.com. It's considered a value mesh. And then the gnome truck ribbon and the heart ribbon I purchased on Amazon. And the red and white striped ribbon and the solid pink ribbon came from Craft Outlet. So if you were interested in making a design like this, you could get those supplies at those places. Okay, so now we have our first layer of mesh, our first layer of ribbons, our second layer of mesh. And because this pink is so light, and I feel like you can kind of still see through to the frame maybe in some areas, I'm actually adding an additional layer to this. And we're going to use this real pretty pink and cream poly burlap mesh. I purchased this from Craft Outlet. It is one of my favorites to use on my wreaths. It seems to really be an attractive addition for my customers as well. I tend to sell a lot when I use this mesh. For this mesh, I cut this to 10-inch pieces. So basically, when you buy the roll, it's 10 inches wide, and I cut it to 10 inches long. And we're going to actually do the curl method for this mesh. So instead of a cruffle, it will just be one curl. So you fold it over, make sure you keep your ends tucked in, and just roll it. Roll it, roll it. Just keep rolling all the way to the other edge. I make sure that the edge part is on the bottom of my curl, and then you're ready to add that in. So I'm going to lay these into each of the 6 sections on top, sideways, so this way. Make sure you twist your pipe cleaner around the middle. Try to get it centered as much as you can. I pull it kind of tight and then give it a twist, because that causes this to kind of puff up then. So then you have, you know, these pieces stand up. So we're going to do 6 of those around. And then we'll add our final layer of ribbons. Remember to, and this mesh will fray and come apart. That's normal. But once you do it the way that I'm telling you, pull off, if you have an extra piece, just pull that off. Keep this cut edge on the bottom of your curl, and that protects it from fraying further after you finish your wreath. And so that's what it looks like when we add in that extra piece. Little extra collar, little extra filler. Again, make sure you keep these ends with your pinkies. Keep those ends pushed down as you're rolling. And you can make your curls as tight or as loose as you want to. It's about that size. Okay. Put the pipe cleaner around the middle. Twist it pretty tight so it gives it that pop effect. So it pops up. Sometimes you get a little piece on there and you can just clip it off that frays as you're doing your design. To my knowledge, there is absolutely no mesh in the world that doesn't fray. If anybody finds it, please message me immediately. Okay. Trouble getting that one to roll. Okay, one more of those. Alright, so now we have all of those added, and we're going to go right over top of those with our last ribbon tails. We're going to continue matching them the same way. So we'll start with the red and white stripes and the red, pink, and white heart. You're going to make an X pattern with them. Starting at the V at the bottom, you're going to scrunch to the V up here at the top. And this time, since we're placing it on top, we want to keep our X shape. Don't want to V it back towards us like we did on the bottom. Keep it as an X. And then I'm going to lay this in the opposite way of the way I just did the curls. That's because I want all of these items to show in my final result. Now there's a lot in that pipe cleaner, so I'm going to twist it several times. Clip off the end and then push that down. Now we just fluff our ribbon tails, pushing up next to the pipe cleaner and then curling them out. And that's what we're going for. This way you can see the curl and the ribbon tails. So we'll do 6 of these total on the top, making sure to keep our gnome truck the right side up. Pull on that ribbon to straighten it up so that the words and the pattern, you know, the gnome truck are straight. Now we're back to the striped and the heart. Make sure I twist this in really good, because again we have a lot of material being held on by this one pipe cleaner. Truck in in the pink. Keep our gnome trucks right side up. Make an X and scrunch from this V to that V. Got to turn my glue pot on, so hopefully I can get that hot enough in time. And this design, this is going to be a little bit deeper, closer to the 6 inches, maybe a little bit more, because we've added that extra little curl. That curl also, I'll show you in a minute, causes your ribbon to fluff up higher overall as well. My truck is driving straight. The ribbon is so cute. I think I did also forget to mention the sign that we're using tonight is available in my Etsy shop if you would be interested in purchasing one of those to make your wreath. It's available there. Additionally, I need to mention that this is my last one of this design for the season. I'm out of the gnome truck ribbon, and I don't think I'll be able to get any more of it in time to make more of them. This is what it looks like with your curl and your 2 ribbons on top added in. So you can see now it's nice and full, thick, and even though we have used light colors and thin mesh, you cannot see to the wire form now. Okay, so next we will add our sign. To add the sign, I use a hole punch and punch a hole in the top and the bottom. I either do the top and the bottom or the 2 sides. Either one is fine, just as long as you're creating some stability. I use a metal hole punch even on my wood signs. This one is wood, but it works perfectly well on this as well. And I've already punched the hole in the top and the bottom, so we don't need to do that. This is 26 gauge floral wire from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to use this. It's very thin, and it doesn't show on my design in my final result. So I don't like to have the wires and pipe cleaners and things showing any more than necessary. And then I just use a tiny little jewelry repair wire cutter to clip my wire. I cut these pieces to probably 12 to 14 inches long to make it easy for me to work it down through, particularly when we have a wreath this full. You've got to get down through all that mesh to the base frame to attach the sign to it. So to add the wire, just poke it through the hole that you've made, pull it through and even it up in the back. You're going to turn the sign face down. Get it as even as you can, the two pieces of wire, and then crisscross them right over top of the hole that you made in the sign. And then you're going to twist several times right over top of that hole. By having the twist and the knot in the back of the sign instead of the top of the sign, it makes it more stable. Okay, you're going to repeat that process for the bottom. Line them up so they're pretty even. Crisscross them across the hole in the sign and just give them a few good twists in the back. Now we're ready to attach it. So then we just get our wreath and decide how we want to position it in there. So we'll start right about here. Push the wires down through the mesh to the wire wreath form on the bottom. We're going to wrap those two wires around two of the rings in the back. The wire frame has 4 rings. You're going to want to wrap around 2 of them. That gives you more security. Now right now I've got this sign resting on top of some of my ribbon tails, but I will adjust those once the sign is added. So we definitely don't want to hide our cute gnome trucks. Those are, they match the sign very well. Okay, so now I twist this wire underneath after I get it around 2 of the bars. I've been under 2 of the bars. Twist probably a good 10-15 times, and then I'm going to clip off this excess that I don't need. Then I'm going to take that wire that's sticking out here, cut it off between 1.5 inches, 2 inches. I'm going to wrap it around and around this bar until I can put this sharp edge up inside the wreath frame. That way it doesn't scratch your door. Okay. Turn it around. Find our wires at the top. Make sure our sign is nice and centered and where we want it. Go down through the mesh till we get to the wire. I'm going to wrap the wire around 2 of the circles again on the wreath form. Pull that up, make sure I got it pretty even, centered, and then I can start twisting 10 to 15 times. May not need to do that many. I just prefer to know that my sign is very secure and there's not going to be any unraveling or coming loose. Okay, and then we cut off the excess the same as previously and wrap it around that inner wire again so that we can put that sharp edge up inside. This is what we have with the sign and all the ribbon tails. It's real full. I left the sign, I did not pull the sign in down deep on this one. I left it kind of floating on the top. And then we're going to add some hearts floating all around the outside of the design. So first I need to fix my ribbons, rearrange them so that they're not hidden under the truck. See me doing that or not. you can twist it and play with it, whatever you have to do to get your ribbons where you want them. It's okay if they're over the edge of the sign a little bit, but you don't want to cover up your sign. It's giving me a fit. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now you can see the sign good. So the ribbons are just around the edge of the sign. And we're going to get ready and add in some hearts. Make sure you can see me good. Adjust this back up a little bit maybe. Okay, so we're going to use the glue pot. Hope it's hot enough. And we have pink hearts. I bought these at the Dollar Tree. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on a stem with a little tiny piece of baby's breath. I'm not going to be using the baby breath, just the hearts. And then they have them in different colors. They have the white that we're going to be using. And then they also had red and purple. But for tonight, we're just going to use the pink and the white. And I have several of these already cut. I brought that extra stem in case I needed some more pink. If you don't have a glue pot, you can certainly use your hot glue gun. The glue pot I purchased just because I do this so much, it makes it a lot easier for me. So I left a little piece of wire on the hearts, and I'm just going to use that to kind of tuck down inside the ribbons and the mesh to apply them. First thing I'm going to do is decide where I want it, and then make sure the wire, that this is not too long to go down in as far as I want it to. Looks like that's probably, no, I don't like that one there. We would do this one. Okay, yeah, that one will lay in good there. So then I'm just going to get a good glob of glue on it, make sure it holds, and then just slide it down in there so that it attaches to, I try to get it to attach to the ribbon as well as the pipe cleaner that is holding the ribbon in there. And then we're going to put, I'm going to put a pink one, I think, kind of up behind the white one. If you can see that. Just kind of like that to have them layering and look like they're floating out from the truck. Of course, I'm gonna hold that one up there a little bit because I want it to be a little bit higher than the white one so that it shows and looks like they're floating up. Okay, and then I'll probably do the same thing on the other side. I think I'll start with the pink first though. Make sure that I can get this to go down in between somewhere. Yeah, right there is pretty good. Okay, get some glue. The glue is still kind of thick, but that's okay. It's actually good because more of it will stay on there. It will make this more secure. Okay, and just push it down in there. And we'll hold them a little bit till they start to set. Not really liking that. So maybe I do the white one over on the side like this. Don't really have much for it to grab up onto up there. think I'm going to do it right here. Slide it between those two ribbons. And then I want, let's see, we want to put some at the top and then some down here at the bottom. I'm just going to turn this around here, and just all I'm doing is taking my little stem and trying to finagle and figure out where it will go down in between my ribbon and hold securely. That works in that spot, but this stem is a little bit too long, so I'm just going to snip a piece of it off. Yes, that works much better. And I also want a pink one over here, somewhere near the white one. This is the problem when I'm designing as I go, is it takes me a while. I think I'll just put this one right in there. Hold that up there, because I want to have that show. Let it harden a little bit. Push that ribbon up into it to give it a little extra security. There we go. That's what, I think you can see that, the little hearts. So we keep going and add a couple more over on this side. Would sit there nicely. And then this white one up here behind it, probably. Yeah, I think I like that. I'm just gonna, I might have to snip that white one a little bit. Just a little bit of glue on my pipe cleaner there. Run it down beside my ribbon. And then that way it will hold in both places with the ribbon and the pipe cleaner. Snip a little piece of this off and see if I can find a position that I like. Yeah, I think I like it right there, poking out of the ribbon on this side. Oh. Okay. Just raise that up so I can get it up in there where I want it. Hold it at the angle I want until it starts to dry. have a white one right there. So let's get us a pink one. And these come on these stems. Like I said, I just cut them off. Try to cut what length I think I want them at. I cut some longer than others in case I need a longer one. Okay, I think I like that. And then maybe a white one over here. Yes, except it's too long, so I'm going to snip it. Careful. It flew away anyway. Okay. Yeah, I think I like that right there. I'm gonna put the white one here and the pink one here. I think that's starting to look pretty good. Doing this other heart, we're probably just about finished. Lots of glue, very sticky. Okay. Okay, so here is the finished result. Let's see if you can see that. I had to put my glasses on to make sure. Might need to move the camera back. There we go. You see, we got the little pink and white hearts, kind of like they're floating about around the gnome sign. Very cute. Okay, I think that's it for this video. Remember, whether you're watching live or watching on replay, please, if you would, like and share my video. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to my channel to see my future videos, and also hit the little bell so that you'll get alerts when those are uploaded. If you could go over to my Facebook business page at karlaskleverkrafts and follow that page, you will also get my updates there. So you can choose Facebook or YouTube, whichever is your preference. If you follow my Facebook page, you will get the notifications and things just the same when I upload new videos or new products or new items from my store. Again, the sign is available in my shop if you want to make your own wreath. I believe the link is on the video. If it's not, I'll add that in the comments afterwards. And then, as I promised, if you watch the video to the end, then I would have something for you. So I have a discount code that is good on any item in my Etsy shop, any season, any item, gifts, gift baskets, wreaths, anything that you would be interested in. It's FB Live Thank You, all one word, and that's good for 20% off. I just want to thank you and tell you to have a good evening, and I will see you next time.